You are listening to Small Business Straight Talk with your host, Amber Delegated. Amber is a sought-after coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives small business owners the straight talk on productivity, time management, business systems, leading your teams, strategic decision-making, and mindset. No BS, fluff, or overused jargon. Just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber Delegated, the productivity specialist.
Welcome and thank you for listening to the Small Business Straight Talk podcast. Today is episode 338. Hey hero, it doesn't need to be you. If you're a small business owner who wants to learn effective business strategies, improve time management, and elevate productivity to maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you've joined me. Today, we're going to be diving into the topic of getting the support you need so that you can grow your business, increase profits, and reduce the stress of running your business. Before we dive in, though, I have some good news for you. If you've been thinking of hiring a business coach and more specifically working with me, I have one opening starting in September. If you're looking to partner with a coach that can help hold you accountable, strategically advise you on how to take your business to the next level, teach you the skill sets to manage your own time, manage others, improve your productivity, create efficiency with business systems and processes in your business, then we should talk. Head on over to amberdelegarza.com/coaching to learn more and schedule a discovery call. And now, let's get to the straight talk. Are you doing all the things in your business and wearing it as a badge of honor? Are you the only hero in your business? The one who solves the problems, performs the most important tasks, completes the projects, and saves the day? Have you normalized being the hero in your business at the expense of business growth, profits, and stress? I'm speaking to you if you are a team of one or a team of many and are still wearing all the hats. Why do you feel you need to be doing all the things? I often hear these common reasons why business owners do not get the support they need. Here's a short list. I don't have the money to hire. I don't have the time to hire. I don't know how to hire. I don't know how to lead, delegate, or train. I don't want to relinquish control. I don't trust my team members. I don't have team members with the necessary skills. I don't think they can do it as fast or as well as I can. Do any of these on the list sound familiar? If so, I understand, but it doesn't need to be the reason you do not get support. I find that many business owners stop moving forward to get the support they need because of one or many of these listed reasons. And I am here to tell you that those reasons are not why you are being held back from getting the support you and your business need. It's because you are not prioritizing and solving for those items. Many business owners feel like every day is just like the day before. The business becomes overwhelming, too much to handle, too many things fall through the cracks, and that creates unhappy clients, stresses you out, feels like you're drowning, can't catch your breath, and you're constantly go, 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 and it's absolutely exhausting you. When you wear too many hats, it's difficult to focus on your high-value activities. You know, the ones that only you can do, that move the needle forward towards achieving your goals, the ones that you should be focusing on. When you're not hiring and when you're not getting adequate support, you're not having the time, energy, and mental bandwidth to focus on your high-value activities. Or simply, you're just drowning in the details and not moving your business forward. You're being steamrolled by your business instead of working on your business. Do you feel you're stuck working too much in your business instead of on your business? Perhaps you put pressure on yourself to fulfill roles such as serving the client, marketing, bookkeeping, scheduling, janitor duties, administrative tasks, replying to emails and voicemails and text messages, invoicing, purchasing supplies, project management, performing audits, updating branding, creating presentations, and the list goes on and on. If you are doing all those things and more, you are definitely wearing too many hats and having too many responsibilities. Perhaps you're suffering from black and white thinking, all or nothing, thinking you either need a full-time employee or you need to be doing it all yourself. Yes, you can hire a full-time employee, but you do have other options. Options that are less expensive, more flexible, and can save you 4, 8, 10, 20 plus hours a week. Think about what your week would look like if you got back 4 hours. That's a half a day. Think about that. If you are not getting home for dinner, you are working on the weekends, you are working after the kids go to bed, and you're squeezing out sleep time each night. Imagine if you hired a part-time, very specifically talented person who took 4 hours a week off your schedule. You could be home for dinners. You could sleep 1 more hour a night. You could go to the gym. Now imagine, what could getting 20 hours of support do for your business profits, reducing your stress, having more time to focus on your high-value activities that are in alignment with generating more revenue. I want you to consider if one of these scenarios could greatly benefit you and buy you more time back for your priorities. How about a part-time executive assistant that helps you 5 to 10 hours a week with your schedule, client communications, or how about email management? Or perhaps you hire an independent contractor that specifically handles your marketing, your PR strategy, your social media, bookkeeping, website updates and maintenance, to name a few. You do not need to be the expert in bookkeeping and SEO and websites, social media. You can hire very specific, highly talented contractors to help you so you do not need to wear those hats. How about hiring for one specific area of support in servicing your clients? One that either never gets done or one that is taking a lot of time, your time, in servicing the client. And it's a very repetitive task. And so it will be easy to teach somebody how to do that repetitive task so that you get that compound effect of reclaiming time. Might one of your team members have an unknown skill or skills that could easily be developed via a little outside training or online course? Maybe your assistant enjoys dabbling in graphic design or could handle your social media, for example. Could you hire help at home before you even hire help in your business? Because let's be honest, the hats you wear are not just at work. Can one less hat be cleaning your home, cleaning your car, driving your kids to and from school and practices, shopping for groceries, cooking meals every night, or help with taking care of your parents? I'm giving you this list to get creative because our time is being dispersed in so many different places when we wear so many different hats. And when we can get support at home, we're going to be able to focus and invest more time in the business. When we get more help in the business, we're going to be able to be more present and focused in our home. So where do you think that you need to get started in getting support? I want you to throw out that all or nothing thinking. I want you to throw out the I'm not big enough. I'm not experienced enough. Who would want to work with me because I only can have them work 5 hours a week? I want to tell you that there are people out there that are hungry for these opportunities. Not even hungry, but blessed. Like this would be a blessing to their lives to have this additional hours, to be able to have them creating a business where they have flexible hours and that they're able to stay in their lane of expertise. So something that can be challenging or overwhelming or burdensome to you could be a blessing to others. I'm going to share a little bit of my own journey and how I got support throughout the years. I started my business nearly 14 years ago. And when I first started my business, my very first hire was a housekeeper. My goal was to make enough money, i.e. profits, money to bring into the home, the household, in the business to be able to pay for a house cleaner to deep clean my home twice a month. This was incredibly important because I was working during the week. I had a young child. My husband was working out of state at this time, and so we traveled to visit him a lot. And I didn't want to spend 6-8 hours on a weekend deep cleaning my home. And I certainly didn't want to do it after a long day. And so for me to be able to take off one hat, and the priority was to keep a very clean and tidy home that makes me happy. It makes me feel like everything's in its place. It allows me to focus. This was one of my first goals. Soon thereafter, my next business goal, surprise, surprise, business goal, was to be able to bring in additional revenue into the home to pay for additional days at preschool. When I first started my business, I could only justify 2 days of preschool for my son. Quickly, I needed more preschool time because I had more clients. And I was really clear that if I was going to take on more clients and it directly affected revenue, that it was going to be paying for additional preschool days so that I could have more focused hours to work with my clients during the workday without obviously my toddler being under my feet. Then I made my first hire in my business. And my first hire in my business was Crystal. And I hired her as an assistant. And now she's still with me and she's my content manager. If you've been around on the podcast for a while, you've heard me mention her quite frequently. She's literally my right hand. She is with me in the trenches of creating all of this amazing value-added content for you. And she didn't start that way. She started as my assistant. But I do remember in our interview, one of the questions I specifically asked her was, do you enjoy writing? Because at that time, my strategy, while it wasn't podcasting, it was blogging. And I understood that content marketing strategy was big for my business. It was big at that time. It's big now. And I knew that that required a lot of writing. And I have to be honest with you, it still does. There's a ton of writing. Think about the weekly emails we send to you, the copy on the website, the social media, these podcast episodes, so much writing. And I knew it was not my strength. I knew that it was something that stressed me out, that overwhelmed me, and I wasn't efficient at it because it wasn't my strength. And I certainly did not enjoy doing it. But I clearly saw the writing on the wall that my business had a need that I could not successfully fill on my own. So, while I hired her as my assistant, she took on the role of helping write everything, which then was this natural transition into my content manager over the years. When my son was in elementary school, I was dead set on having major growth phase in my business. This was a season of huge goals, leaps and bounds year over year. I was incredibly focused on the growth of my business. And I wanted to create a bunch of new offerings to test the market. And I understood that to do that, along with the marketing that was required to launch these new offerings, there was going to be a bigger demand of my time and energy. So I hired a personal assistant. I called her my fairy godmother. And she helped in the home with hats that I was still carrying and really wearing all the time. She helped with light house cleaning between the housekeeper coming. She did laundry. She meal prepped our dinners and snacks. She helped Eric with his homework. She helped get him to practices after school. And having Shelby's support at the home freed me up to work in my business the way I wanted to for that season of my business and life. So at that time, I was definitely working probably a little over 40 hours a week. I wasn't getting out of the office until 5:30, 6 o'clock. And I really wanted that evening support so that when I got off work, I could sit down at the dinner table and be completely present with my family, not scrambling to get another load of laundry in or scrambling to get food on the table. At that time, it was a huge blessing because I knew that my unique expertise, my attention, and my energy was best invested in the business because I was working on revenue generating activities. I was working on activities that would grow the business that then gave me this leverage, this financial freedom to have this help in my home. Later on, I hired Sabrina, who worked remotely in my business as a tech VA. And she lives in the Philippines and she works 20 hours a week. And at this time, when she was working 20 hours a week, it was because I was in another major growth phase. So as a tech VA, I was launching funnels and redoing our entire email back end and how we service our clients and fully utilizing what we call it's Entreport is our program we use behind the scenes, building everything out to automate as much as we could in the business. And that was amazing. But there was a time where all the automation was completed. All of the funnels were completed. All of the SOPs were done. And so that position ended up phasing out from 20 to 15 to 10 to 5 until it was just on a maintenance as needed. And that's a great example of she was with me for a couple years at 20 hours a week. And then as the business shifted and as the projects she was working on were completed, I was able to phase out that role. During that time, I also had Sabrina, but before she was phased out, I also hired my current executive assistant, Lacey, who also works remotely, and she takes care of my schedule, client communication, email, my client care email. She onboards and offboards clients. She manages SOPs. She is over my group coaching program and handles all of the administrative tasks that go with that and so much more. And over the years, I have hired so many others, some short-term, some long-term, both in and out of my home and out in and out of the business. I have specific episodes that I'll share with you about the actual stories and examples of hiring. There are some doozies out there, and I love sharing those as lessons that this is all a process, that it's not as simple as hiring Crystal like I did early in my business and she stays with me for 10 years. Like, yes, that was amazing and it worked so well with her. But between her and where my business is now, there are a lot of stories that got me to the team that I have now. And the team I have now, I've had for many, many years. So I'm very grateful for that as well. We don't have turnover, which is helpful for training and making sure things are running smoothly. But there were times where I had to turn over, and I share those stories and examples in other episodes we'll link out to, and I'll share with you in the outro. With today's technology and shift in how people work, we have so many options to get support. There are experts all over the world that have their own businesses as independent contractors to help you and your business. No more of the days of having to wait until you can afford and have enough to work to keep someone employed for 40 hours a week. Over the last 14 years, as my business has grown and changed, my son has grown up and become more independent, and my needs for support have grown and changed. What I feel I've done well is always ask one important question over and over, and that is this: what support do I need right now? Asking yourself that question is powerful, and understanding that shifts. It shifts as your business changes. It shifts as your goals change. It shifts as your family dynamics change. And so always asking yourself, what support do I need right now? And then I focused on finding a solution that would solve for that. Yes, there was times I didn't have the money or the time to hire and train. So I made my focused goal to solve for that. Remember I said that the list I shared with you earlier in the episode was often the reason people don't move forward in hiring, but that it wasn't that? Those items on the list, such as I don't have money, I don't have time, I don't trust, while those may be valid reasons, the real reason that you're not finding the support you need is because you're not prioritizing solving for those challenges. And that's what I've done in my business. Over the years, I've improved my skills of hiring, leading, and delegating. I've practiced relinquishing control, building trust with those who have joined my team, or let them go if I didn't trust them. Not everyone you hire is going to be a fit. But what I didn't do is normalize my business feeling overwhelming, being too much to handle, allowing things to fall through the cracks, creating unhappy clients, feeling like I'm drowning, like I can't catch my breath, and constantly being on the go and actually feeling absolutely exhausted. All of those things are the reasons why I find it so important to solve for whatever comes in my path, for answering and filling the question of what support do I need right now? I didn't normalize any of that. Anytime my business or home life started feeling like too much, too stressful, too exhausted, I solved for it by seeking support. And by doing so, and by choosing not to be the hero in my own story and taking action, that is a big reason why I'm still in business and running my business and household joyfully. I am here to say, hey, hero, it doesn't need to be you. Think outside the box and get the support you need to run a better and more joyful business. I've loved having you listen to this episode of the Small Business Straight Talk podcast. And I sure hope you found today's episode to be valuable, but I need to be straight with you. No change, no change. Without taking action, nothing will change for you or your business. So my ask of you today is to stop normalizing being overwhelmed, doing all the things, wearing all the hats. I'm going to ask that you start asking yourself, what support do I need right now? And if or when things come up, such as you don't have money to hire, you don't have enough time to hire, you don't know how to hire, you don't know how to lead, delegate, train, relinquish control, you don't trust your team members, you don't have team members with the necessary skills, or simply you truly believe that you are the best to do the job because you can do it the best and fastest, I want you to realize that that is a speed bump. While those may be true statements, those become the items that you solve for so that you can get on the other side and get the support you need in and out of your business. I had mentioned that I have other episodes where I shared with you specifically my own hiring journey and stories and lessons, but I've actually done many episodes specifically on leadership, hiring, delegating, leading your team. And I want you to be able to get those resources. So I actually created something special for you, and that is a team member needs assessment. I created this needs assessment specifically for you so that it asks you specific questions that you can answer to get really clear about what is the next best hire in your business. Along with that team member needs assessment, you'll get a curated hiring podcast playlist where you'll get all the resources I've mentioned thus far. And you can get that by heading on over to amberdelagarza.com/next hire. Again, that's amberdelagarza.com/next hire. Before we close out, I just want to invite you to subscribe if you are a new listener. Welcome. Thank you so much. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode. And if you've been here for a while, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Today, we have a special thank you going out to one of my previous guests, Shelly LaFolk, who recently said, "It was a joy being interviewed by Amber. She has a real commitment to helping small business owners and bringing them information that will help them have successful businesses and lives." Thank you so much, Shelly, for our conversation, and I appreciate you leaving a review. If you are a longtime listener, I would so appreciate it if you would take the time to leave a review wherever you're hearing this episode now. So that's my straight talk for today. Until next time, have a productive week.